Live from New York, it's Ask This Engineer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Ask Engineer. It's me, Lady Ada. We're broadcasting from 8 billion different networks. You can see us so many different ways, but either way, we are physically here at Adafruit in the manufacturing zone. We got all sorts of electronics being manufactured. We manufactured electronics today, in fact. It's been a whirlwind of a week, and we're going to tell you all about it here on Ask Engineer.
Yes.
Thanks to Phil, who's on camera control.
I think the cameras control me.
Yeah.
That's what I think is the
Could be like Ghost in the Machine,
the
where
ratio.
you like become the
that's the
cameras.
ratio.
Okay.
All right.
All right, let's rock it out.
Okay, on tonight's show, the code is radio. 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything but gift certificates and software. Show and tell. People around the world showed and shared their projects. We're going to talk about that. Packed mailbag's going to stop by, reading some viewer letters from you. Help wanted. It's Adafruit Jobs Board, the best place online to showcase your skills, and also if you're a company, find a cool maker. Time travel, look back in the world of makers, hackers, artists, and engineers. 3D printing, we'll have a cool 3D printing project. raspberrypi news, we'll have some new products, and we have a very cool new product tonight. Answer your questions, we'll have a trivia question, all that and more on, you guessed it, Ask an Engineer.
Yay!
Yeah.
We're here.
The longest running live electronics program. I read it on Wikipedia. I did. Ask an Engineer is the longest running live electronics show.
It's the only one.
Yeah. But it's the longest running one.
It's like 7 years now.
Yeah. It's going to be 7 years in August that we've been doing the show. All right. Yeah.
Get my youth back. Giving it all away to the camera. All right, well, an exciting show. I want to start out with this coupon code.
Yeah, it's radio. You'll see why soon. But radio, 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. In case you're wondering how we do this and how we employ almost 100 people at Adafruit.
How do we pay the rent here?
Yeah, is through the products that people buy.
But what about our venture capital arm?
We don't have any venture capital.
What about all the Panama Papers money that we had hidden in Panama?
No, all of our money is basically in inventory and the equipment that we purchase. We haven't had to finance any equipment. We paid for it in cash. So anytime you purchase something at Adafruit, it's what pays the salaries of the people here, health benefits, 401ks. You know what? Here's one thing I'm really proud of. I'm gonna put on the maker business hat because we do a newsletter. One of the things that we rolled out for our employees is pay time off for charity. And that was something we did in 2016, and folks are using it so people can take time off and get paid if they're an Adafruit employee to do charity work in their local communities. They just need to be a 501(c). So anyways, we just that's exciting to me.
Yay!
So anyways, and that, when you buy an electronic kit, that helps us do stuff like that.
Yes.
So thank you. All right. So
your cash is then distributed to other people here who use that cash to pay for milk and cat food.
Yeah. All right, so the free deals that we have going on right now is $200 or more, UPS ground in continental USA. We're going to be adding some more freebies soon, but these are the freebies we have right now. Also, same-day shipping. It's not free, but if you're in New York City and you check out before 11 a.m. and you're in a specific zip code, you'll be able to
you'll have that option.
See same-day. Yeah.
Yep.
So much like the Amazons and the Googles that have same-day service, so do we.
Yeah, we have like a couple week pickups every week. They come by, they pick it up in the morning, and then they deliver it to you by the afternoon, evening.
Yeah.
It's perfect if you absolutely positively need it by that day and you know before 11 a.m.
Yeah. A lot of like production companies, advertising agencies, and people that need something really fast use it. And that's one of the reasons we did it, because we don't have a retail store. And they're like, but we'll do anything. It's like, well, no, we can't do that.
With 3,000 products, it's just not possible to.
Okay.
We can't actually, couldn't even stock a retail store even if you wanted to. So this is the next best thing. And we can do this because we manufacture and ship all out of our Manhattan location.
That's right.
If we had outsourced third-party logistics, it would not be possible.
Yeah, that's one of the things. So one of the things we're kind of thinking about is maybe doing a maker business show, because we have this newsletter at Adafruit Daily.
It would pretty much just be us on the couch, like drinking and saying, I'm so glad you don't take back orders, like taking back orders will really kill you.
Well, it would be a show that maybe recapped some of the businessy stuff that we do to run a company. It's tough. Running a company is challenging.
Oh yeah.
And more so
a profitable company especially.
Yeah, more so when you want to pay people well and do a cause in addition to a business. So anyways, we're thinking about that. We might do a show like that too. Speaking of shows, this is Ask an Engineer. We do this every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and we just had the show and tell, and we'll get to that in just a few minutes. That's every week at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We released our new lineup of live shows. We have the Desk of Lady Ada. We only had one this week so far. We did this one on Sunday.
But it was really good.
Yeah, this was the Feather check-in. So what did you show this week on the Desk of Lady Ada?
The Desk of Lady, yeah. So I've been doing a lot of electronics behind the scenes. Some of which you'll see later. But the Feather check-in is designed a relay feather wing. It was just gonna be like just designing a power relay feather wing for fun in the evening, and then we'll do a couple broadcasts this week as well. All sorts of stuff happening, all sorts of new products coming out. It's a very exciting time here at the Adafruits. But Tony D has been doing a lot of streams in my stead.
So speaking of, watch Tony D's desk. He did a couple. We had a Raspberry Pi show, and then we also had an Arduino show. So the two.
Right, we did that. Well, we did that with us live.
So he did Alexa Pi on the Raspberry Pi Zero. That's using Alexa with Raspberry Pi. Really neat show. And then a Happy Arduino Day, that was Saturday, and he built a Arduino on a breadboard. So that was two of the shows. And then we did a show on Saturday, Pseudo Random with Colin, and that was all about Arduino, and we showed Arduino Pass. And I don't want to show the whole show because it was 40 minutes, but we did show some of these old Arduinos. Yeah, so these are from my collection of Arduino Pass.
Hold on, let me
and
lock to, hold on.
And
hold on. Okay.
Lady Ada and Colin showed all of these Arduinos.
Yeah,
and we even had...
So you start with the classic Arduino. So this is the original Arduino. This is not able to focus.
What are you trying to do?
It's trying to focus, but it's not doing it. Okay, maybe a little bit better. This is a classic Arduino. It has an FT232BL and a ceramic oscillator at Mega 8. And reset button over here, no LED, no pin 13 LED. The NG, which updated to an FT232RL, which is kind of cool, which has made it a little bit less expensive to manufacture. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same. I think this actually updated to an Atmega 168, so twice as much flash and RAM, so that's kind of nice. And then the DHMILA, which you had a red edition. I don't even know why you had this red edition. That's kind
They made a limited run, and I asked for one. I don't remember how I got this, but I added it to my Arduino collection.
Yeah, we have one of these, and then there's also a Dumila Nova. I don't know where that went, but that one added the. And then it also added the reset button. That's what. Sorry, the DHMILA added the 3-volt pin and the reset button, because you could kind of get a 3-volt output from the FT232RL. And then finally the Uno, which has all the benefits of the previous ones, but has an Atmega chip, or ATtiny Atmega 16U2, sorry. I'm a little under the weather. Atmega 16U2, the LLED has the SCL and SDA pins up here, has the IO ref pin over here. This is kind of the classics, what people use now, but a really nice color change. You can see how the blue of Arduino has changed from this like really dark green blue to like a dark blue to like the new Pantone match teal that they're really into.
Yeah, so that's what we did, and you can watch that on our channel on youtube.com/Adafruit.
Yeah, we talked about
new shows.
Arduino, and we showed off some cool Arduino swag that we have.
Okay, so we have another Pseudo Random coming up on Monday. That'll be out pretty soon, and this week.
I can't wait to hear and see what that video is all about.
Yeah, every week people around the world show and share their projects, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
I wrote them down.
You wrote them down?
Yep. We actually had a full house. We had Noah and Pedro, who showed off their iPhone that they milled with Sparky the Blue Smoke Monster on the back.
You need capacitors.
We need capacitors, so that's their little friend. And it was like a broken iPhone, so they were willing to risk this one, but actually worked out really well. And also for the Dronies event, they took, it looks like it was a DJI drone, and they they made a 3D printed attachment that allowed them to put their 3D Theta camera on it, so they could fly around and then take 3D video, which sounds like really, really cool. I mean, like
I think the 360 camera is one of the best uses of them is on a drone.
Yeah, I don't know. Has anyone else done this before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's been a few, but I would say that Noah and Pedro are the first, once again, to mount it to a drone with a 3D printed bracket
Yeah.
and then show their work and
How
share
to do it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I can't wait to see it. I'm sure that's going to be cool. Tony Nicola, he did a video on April 1st for, it's an IoT project where IoT is the Internet of Toilets. He made an RGB toilet light. It's a real project that tells you the weather in your toilet bowl by lighting up the bowl. And it's kind of a funny project. Apparently you can buy these little lights as like little gags.
Yeah.
But he's like, well, I want to make my internet connected. And it's a working project, uses an ESP 8266 Feather. Check it out.
Yeah, and one thing worth noting is we're using Adafruit IO often. If you go to hugvr.com/Adafruit, you can see the factory here in 360, and we have an on-air light right now that's controlled via the internet if it sees that we're live on Twitch. So we actually we actually eat our dog food, so to speak.
Yeah, this is a project that we did a couple months ago. Because we were tired of turning on and off this lamp, so I made this so it automatically turns on and off when it detects that our Twitch channel's live. Because Twitch is one of the nicest API.
Yeah.
I don't think Facebook even has an API for that.
Not yet, but you know what? I have to say that I think given Facebook's emphasis on doing live, I think they'll make it better for people to have all sorts of physical hardware connected to notifications eventually. But I mean, like right now, it's really neat with Twitch because you can just like hit it and it'll say if the status and the name of it.
It's just cool, so handy. Yeah, we have to make a little miniature version. And then he also did an Alexa Pi project. We're looking to see how we can get Alexa working on a Raspberry Pi Zero. So this is part of that. This is a long-term project. Lottie came back, is working on a stepper driver. He's learning how to use decoupling caps. He bought a multimeter from Goodwill and it looks really cool. And he's going to go to a 3D printer meeting later today. So that's great. It's a full night. And Paul made a really cool, like one of those compact Mac Plus enclosures for a Raspberry Pi and a display, so it looks kind of like an old like Mac SE Plus, SE30. And it has 10 Raspberry Pis, and like they all act as like different services, and there's a switch in the back. Hey, it's really cool. You put the handle in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. The only thing that's missing is startup sound goes eep, eep. What?
That's true.
That was my favorite.
Yeah.
Eep. My favorite Mac sound. And then what else? Okay, William is working on a PCB relay driver for the Pi Zero. He just showed off some PCBs and he's working on it. And he's got some grand visions. And he also showed off his app, and his app is working. And Gute came in. Gute is his first time showing up. He made this awesome, gigantic LED matrix clock. And like he actually writes code in Java. So this was his first time doing hardware. And he built this clock, and it like can tell the time, but he also can have text scroll by and like current weather and like AP report. And it's kind of cool, like all sorts of cool stuff. And it runs on a Pi Zero and has a REST interface. He showed off the REST interface. So that's fancy. And then Colton showed off how he can do Pi Minecraft through video capture on the NTSC port to a Windows machine. So he can use another computer to video capture Minecraft, and then you can then share that video out.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, all participants on the show and tell get it as seen on the show and tell sticker. All you need to do is email support@adafruit.com and we'll send you out a real live sticker in the mail.
Yay.
To get on the show and tell, all you do is go to google.com/+Adafruit and look for the post around 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. And we have so many people in the show and tell circle now that just look for a link. And when you click the link, just have your microphone ready to mute, have your camera ready to go. I always suggest,
click fast.
Yeah, I always suggest that you're on Ethernet instead of Wi-Fi in case you don't have a great connection, because it'll start to try to download you into our factory here via HD quality. So if you can do Ethernet, it's always helpful.
Yep.
So anyways, if you want to
May
share
the
your
odds
projects.
always be in your favor to get into the show and tell. Like it fills it fast.
Yeah. Okay, next up. Packet mailbag. I like packet shoes because they're these little, they look like Converse, but they're not.
They're so cute.
They're little Adafruit
They're
shoes.
the cutest thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I want those shoes.
All right. So this one is from Barry. Barry says, I was discussing your company with a friend, mostly about your tech support and customer service. You guys aren't selling toasters. You're selling some pretty advanced components and kits to all kinds of people, from total neophytes to some obviously very knowledgeable and experienced people. I'm blown away by how well you deal with the inevitable problems that crop up. If there was ever a company that deserved to live long and prosper, you are that
Thank you.
company. Do you have a favorite Vulcan?
Other than Spot? I mean, like,
It's a tough question, yeah.
Turok's cool.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know that many
Okay.
Vulcans.
Sounds good.
I'm not.
Okay.
What's your favorite Vulcan?
No, Tuvok from Voyager.
okay.
Yeah, I like to. Okay. Help wanted. All right, this is the Adafruit jobs board. This is where people can show and share their skills that they have, just like our show and tell, but it's about their skills. And
Make some money.
yeah, and companies can post their jobs that they have that they want to fill. And this one is interesting because I didn't know what this was at first because we approve all of the jobs, and I was at first nervous because I'm like, Y Combinator, what are they doing here? But it's a Y Combinator
they're a
company.
company, yeah.
I'm like,
It's not them.
Yeah, I just didn't know what it was. I was like, are they going to do some like Y Combinator thing with our jobs board? But it's not. What it is, it's a Y Combinator company looking for a director of hardware engineering. So a company called 8, formerly Luna. They're an Internet of Things company that has this bed thing. I actually checked it out. It looks like another sleep sensory thing. They have an
Wait,
app.
what's the one you have that has the thing that straps?
Yeah, I forgot the name of it.
No, there's Hello,
Yeah, I know.
but this is not it. You haven't tried this one.
No, I haven't tried this one yet.
Okay.
I've tried. I'm losing track of all the different sleep trackers.
There's a lot of sleep trackers.
It's not. Was it Bedit? It was Bedit.
It was Bedit. It's
Yeah,
funny.
it was Bedit, I think. Or I'm making it up. I'm making it up.
I hope it's
Better.
called Bedit.
It's called Better right now.
Better.
Pillower. No, their Pillow is actually an app that I'm going to be checking out soon.
Okay.
Anyways.
See, you can't make fun of them. You never
So
know.
this job is for 8, and I assume that means like 8 hours of sleep. Yeah, clever. But this is part of them looking for a director of hardware engineering. So jobs in New York, if you're looking to do hardware for sleep, which is I think interesting because it's hardware that also has a cause. If we help people sleep a little bit better worldwide.
Wait, so they haven't actually shipped their product yet?
I don't know. This is
Okay, whoever
yeah.
goes in, you better ask for a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't know. They sold 7,000 pre-orders
Yeah.
on Indiegogo a year ago. I didn't see if they're shipping yet. This is why they might need. This is why they might need a director of hardware engineering.
Yeah. All right, look, I mean, there's people out there who have these skills.
Yeah.
This is your chance. Go in, get a lot of equity, and get a good salary because you're going to be taking a 7,000 pre-order item to market. You deserve it.
Yeah. Anyways, that's on our jobs board. Check it out. Next up, we had a Manufacturing Monday post. Lady Ada, what is this thing that you were working on?
Oh, this is this is what I did on Monday. So all weekend actually was designing a lot of boards. This is the board that we shot the video of. The one you can see, the one with the little U on it, the bottom left.
Mm-hmm.
I designed a whole bunch of boards the last couple of weeks, including testers, and I actually kind of got them all out to market. So I've got a Charlie Plex Featherwing, so it's going to be like 7x15 monocolor LEDs with PWM, brightness control. An M0 LoRa feather because we're showing off the 32.4 LoRa and radio feather. A GPS feather wing. I finally got that design. A couple of testers for the different 7-segment and hex segment feather wings. A little M0 board I designed, and a crypto wing. And then a sensor wing. I basically took all of the nicest sensors we've got, like the BNO 055, which is the 9DOF IMU with orientation sensor, the TCS 37 something color and lux sensor, and the BME 280. And I made like a feather wing that's like all of the sensors. Because I couldn't decide like how many, I said, you know what, I'll just make one that has all the sensors, and then what I can do is I can just make versions that don't have like the temperature sensor or something on it.
Okay.
So it has all the sensors. GPS, crypto, testers, power relay wing, M0, RFM, Charlie wing, and then a couple of the big boards are testers that we'll use to test the boards that I manufacture. So I designed testers as well as the boards themselves. So it's like a kind of a 2-in-1 Manufacturing Monday.
Okay.
And you can see I render it. I like to render it and see it in 3D.
You like to render it. Okay.
I like to render.
Next
I like
up
to render.
is this is Nimbus, our friendly cloud
Render.
entity.
Yeah.
Nimbus won't acquire your company, then turn off your Internet of Things devices because it got acquired by
It has
Google.
been a week for Internet of Things.
So right now, the big news of the week in the IoT space is there is a company, I think Revel or something like that.
Revolve?
Yeah, something like that. And it looked like an upside
Resolve?
down. Yeah, it looked like an upside down hummus thing.
I love hummus.
Yeah, no, that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
And someone wrote an article about that. But anyways, it's a device.
Like warm pita and hummus.
Yeah, it's a device that controls all of your like home automation stuff, and very abrupt. Not only is it just gonna not work, it's like really not working, like
It's like bricked.
over, like starting May 15th, your stuff don't work.
Oh, but over-the-air updates are such a good idea. Haven't you heard? This is why I'm not a big fan of forced over-the-air updates.
So
Samsung, no results.
So Nimbus wouldn't do that to you.
Nimbus would never do that.
So we have this service that we're letting everyone use for free. It's just if you want to try it out, we're in beta. It's called Adafruit IO, and we have an Adafruit IO update this week.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do.
IO update.
Yeah.
IO.
So this week we added support for AWS v4 inspired request signing for IO's version 2 REST API this week. So this should allow devices that don't support TSL SSL to communicate with Adafruit IO without sending the keys in the clear. So do check out this stuff if you are a security
so this
geek.
is very interesting because we're actually looking at Amazon. I'm totally going to butt in here. So we're looking at Amazon AWS support for the Wicked Feather and for the @Wink.
Yeah, we're getting there.
And first, boy, Amazon, they really care about security. So not only does it require TLS 1.2, so you have to have it SSL'd, right? And then that way you know that the server you're connecting to is the server you think it is, because it's like Amazon.com certificate, you know it's the real certificate, you know it's really Amazon. But then they also require you to certify it the other direction so that Amazon knows that the device is the device it thinks it is. And so every request, the REST API request, has to be signed with AES 256 HMAC, which I actually am interested in. I want to read about it tomorrow because I've never done signing for requests, but it's still useful even if you don't do SSL. So SSL allows you to encrypt the entire communication from beginning to end, which is of course the best option. But there's still some older chips, CC3000, some other systems like the cellular boards that don't necessarily have SSL support. But you may want to not have your identifier, like the data you don't care about, because you're like, okay, I don't care if people sniff my temperature data, but then you don't want them to be able to log in as you. And so you will, instead of sending your password in the clear, use the password to hash the request. And then the request gets sent, so you don't actually send, you're not sending the password, but you're proving that you have that password. So it's interesting. I mean, like, we're actually doing all the things that like Bruce Schneier is like, hey folks, you should really do this. And we're like, thanks Bruce, and we're finally doing all these things. So, but you know, a lot of chips support SSL now, which is like really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this would be like a client-side cert.
This would be more like client-side proof of authentication without actually giving up the password.
So for the folks who kind of follow, this would just be like PGP, like you're signing something before you send it
It
off?
is a little bit like PGP. Yeah, it's a little bit like that, except it's not public-private key. There's only a private key.
Okay. All right, neat. So speaking of, sometimes we have to come up with examples of what Adafruit IO can do. And there happened to be everyone's favorite internet holiday, April Fools. But we did a real project. Tony DeCola did this one, and here we go. And this is a real project, by the way.
Introducing the Smart Toilet Light as the latest IoT project from Adafruit. IoT, or Internet of Toilets, is the hottest industry trend to create a connected social network of intelligent toilets. The Smart Toilet Light lets you light up your toilet bowl using data from the internet. For example, light up the bowl red if the weather forecast predicts rain, or light it up yellow for a clear sunny day. There's almost no limit to what you can display in your toilet with the Smart Toilet Light. This project is built with the Feather Huzzah ESP8266 Wi-Fi microcontroller and an 8mm NeoPixel LED to illuminate the bowl. Adafruit IO is used to control the color and animation of the light. You can connect to services like If This Then That or Zapier to talk to Adafruit IO and control the Smart Toilet Light. You can even 3D print a case and a clip to attach the LED to the toilet bowl with ease. See the tutorial link in the description for all the details to build your own Smart Toilet Light. What will you display with the Smart Toilet Light? Post in the comments and subscribe for more great projects from Adafruit. And remember, Adafruit is your #1 source for IoT projects.
All right, moving right along, we have adafruit.com/dronies. You can win a prize, including one of these fabulous trophies. And Dronies is a celebration of video and more with drones. So if you make cool video, or you know someone who made a cool video with a drone,
related to, with, on top of,
doesn't matter,
of a drone, whatever.
Doesn't matter. Just
it's flying.
Yeah.
We like it.
So this week we have a cool 360 video that goes along with the Dronies. So I'm going to show that now.
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another 360 video. This is a special one today. We're out here in the park. We're going to fly some drones. So Adafruit Droney Trophies 2016 is happening very soon. So we're out here with our SEMA drone and we're going to do something a little bit different. What are we going to do, Pedro?
Yeah, we're going to do some 360 flying around with this guy. So we 3D printed some very cool mounts for the 360, the Theta S 360 camera.
This is a really cool thing. You're using sort of a GoPro style hinge, so you can adjust it a little bit here, and it just sort of clips into the little center there, right?
Yeah, so we're using the 1/4-20 to 1/4-20 with the 3/4 threaded adapter here, so we can attach the Theta S camera. So all it does is just clip onto the bottom here, like so. It latches onto the bottom here, so you have to press this little button to release it, and then we attach the Theta S camera. We'll show it once we're in flight, since we're using that camera right now to record.
That's right. So you can look around here and see the lovely area here in South Florida. So let's get to that. Let's get some flying.
Get some flying in.
All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed that test flight. Again, this was flying with the Sigma X8C and the Wakira F210.
And remember, you can get the GoPro Session or regular GoPro mount that we designed and uploaded about a year ago. So you can get that as well as the little Theta S adapter as well, or anything that really accepts a 1/4-20 mount. So you can get these on Thingiverse, and you can get the Fusion 360 files that we designed this in as well. So go check it out and go fly safe.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did like the video, let us know. We'll try out some more 360 stuff. Be sure to subscribe and like the video and give us some ideas and stuff. But until next time, guys, remember to stay safe and keep on making.
So some open source hardware news this week. Big week. Happy Arduino Day, Lady Ada.
But when is open source going to be mainstream, Phil?
Yeah, I know. Nice to hear that. So there's millions of Arduinos out there. We make some of them. Arduinos, Arduino.cc Arduinos, are made here in the USA by Adafruit.
We have to make a bunch of micros soon.
We do. So Arduino Day was April 2nd. That was Saturday.
Yeah.
And we had a huge celebration of all things Arduino. We had Colin, Tony DeCola, we had 24 blog posts, we had all sorts of crazy stuff, all celebrating this cool thing, Arduino, that got a lot of us into electronics.
It's
and more.
wonderful.
And one of the things that happened was the founders of Arduino made a video about what's coming out and what's currently interesting in the Arduino space, which is a lot of IoT, and we're gonna play it.
Go for it.
So if you didn't see it, you get to see it now.
Take it away.
So welcome everybody to Arduino Genuino Day 2016, a global celebration of the Arduino community. Over 350 events are taking place the same day in over 70 countries around the world. It's a self-organized event where community around the world get together and celebrate Arduino, Genuino, the community. They talk about what they do, they make new friends. Every year, when Arduino Genuino Day happens, we have an event where we take part in person.
Welcome to the University of California, Berkeley and the Jacobs Institute for Design Innovation. This is a new makerspace on campus to kind of support and promote maker activity here at Berkeley.
So we want to send out a shout out to our friend David Quartiers, co-founder of Arduino, who is in Mexico City attending Genuino Day there. Genuino Arduino Day is a chance for us to also introduce new ideas, new products, new platforms. So this year we are announcing the first module of Arduino Create are available. Arduino Create is a platform we've been working on for the last year, which has an online development environment for Arduino, a cloud platform which makes it easy for people to connect, to create devices that connect to each other, and a project hub. And the Project Hub is a place where people can share projects, tutorials, they can collaborate, get feedback, also get support and kudos, but really creates a collaboration within the community. That particular platform is based on Hackster.io, but it is tightly integrated and customized for the Create experience. And we used Hackster to run this competition recently with Microsoft, based on Microsoft Azure, where we had over 5,000 submissions of projects. Today we will announce the winner of that competition, but that competition was based on this new board called the Genuino or Arduino Maker 1000. And I'll let Tom explain a little bit about the platform.
Sure, so this new board is a 32-bit board. It's running an ARM M0 processor. It's also got an Atmel Wi-Fi module on board that has built-in encryption, so it can handle security a little bit better. It's got a battery charger on board as well. And Dave and I used it just last month here at Berkeley to do a workshop with the students, and we were able to get students up and running on the network very fast and very easy. So we're looking forward to introducing it to a whole bunch more students around the world.
This is available from today on the Arduino online store for $34.99 plus taxes. And so this is a very exciting addition to the Arduino Genuino product family. And we can't wait to see what you're going to be building with this. I guess one last piece of news from Arduino is that you all know about the Arduino Genuino 101 we built with Intel. It contains a very advanced dual-core processor that runs a real-time operating system. So today, Intel and Arduino are releasing that real-time operating systems as open source. So basically every single piece of that device is now open source, and we're very excited about that. And we think it's going to be again another big contribution to the maker community from Intel. We hope you enjoy Arduino Genuino Day 2016 anywhere you are in the world.
And thank you again to UC Berkeley and the Jacobs Institute for hosting us here.
Arduino Genuino Day is all about the community, so if you go home with one more friend than you came with, we're going to be very happy. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Okay.
That was Arduino Day. So we'll have more Arduino stuff, but check out Pseudo Random. That was our show that we did devoted to Arduino Day. Learn.adafruit.com, 961 tutorials. Lady Ada, what are the tutorials this week?
Okay, so this week we had a really cool project by Phil B, which is the personalized next bus transit clock. So he actually did a bunch of, he showed how to do XML parsing on an ESP8266. So you can grab data from Nextbus, which is like a bus and transit timekeeping system that is popular in a bunch of cities, including San Francisco. And he made a custom clock that tells them how many minutes until the next bus or train on that line. And it's really handy because he kind of lives in the middle of nowhere. And I guess there's these two bus lines that come by, and he doesn't want to wait at the bus station for 39 minutes. Instead, he'd rather just get a notification like, hey, you have 5 minutes before the next one, then he can just hang out at home until it's time to get the bus. There's the Smart Internet of Toilets light that Toy DeCola worked on, the toilet light that is smart. It's funny and it apparently works, so check that out. It's actually a pretty useful project. The mini relay feather wings, it's a tutorial just on how to use the relay feather wings that we just put in the shop. It lets you do latching and non-latching up to 2 amps, 60 watts for small appliances and lamps and devices. Very handy if you want to turn something on and off. And then this twinkling NeoPixel parasol from Aaron St. Blaine, who makes beautiful, beautiful things. And I think we even have a video.
Yeah.
Look at this video of this Beautiful parasol.
Yeah, well, people ask all the time, like, oh, I'd like to have an umbrella that like lights up and changes colors. Oh, we have a tutorial.
We have a tutorial.
How to do that. We have a couple on that.
This is a really cool. She shows even the fun part of the video, the tutorial is she shows how to do like color palettes, so you can have like certain color effects if you want. But she just Fire Pixie does events where she has to go and perform. So for her, it's really important that her projects are durable, that last on battery for quite a long time, and can handle being actually used on stage and at parties.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, time travel. Look back in the world of makers, hackers, artists, engineers, pioneers, people doing cool stuff. Happy birthday, Dean Kamen, 1951. He was born April 5th. American inventor and business person, founded Segway Inc. And also, not a lot of people know he had this thing called the iBot wheelchair. He had
That was a huge big deal.
Yeah, he also had this neat thing
arm?
There was the Luke arm, it was called.
Yeah.
And there was also this kind of like dialysis thing.
Right, the dialysis machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how he actually made his.
Yeah, but
His
if you
fortune.
talk to Dean Kamen, and I was lucky enough I spent Thanksgiving with him one year, and I also got a chance to hang out with him a few times. But if you ask him what he's most proud of, it is First Robotics.
First Robotics is absolutely
Yeah.
his project.
Yeah, and First, a lot of people know it's a way for kids to learn about robotics in their schools, and there's lots of First teams. And
Awesome.
Yeah, we've been to a bunch of these events.
And
so, anyways,
he's also he is the originator of the quote that you always say, which
Yeah.
is, "We are what we celebrate."
yeah, I remember hearing Dean talk, and he does a similar speech at lots of events, and also when you talk to him, a few things that he said that kind of had an impact on me. One, he was talking about, and this story was relayed. He hangs out with people from Boeing, and they're like, "Yeah, the engineers are getting all really old. Like the people
Yeah,
who
they're
built-
running out of people.
They're running out of engineers to make planes. Like they're not making more of these fast enough.
Yeah.
The people who made the GPS satellites, like they're running out of those people."
There's like one guy. He's like, "I know
Yeah.
everything about the GPS satellites, and I hope I get to train somebody else on it."
Yeah, so there's that, and then the other thing he talks about is if you're talking to a kid and they're in like high school and they're into sports, that's great, but you might want to let them know they have less of a chance playing professional sports than being successful in an engineering field. So make sure that
Robo-sports.
make sure they place maybe 2 bets, on both. And
You can you can always play like
Yeah.
basketball or baseball or rugby on the
or
weekends.
just expose yourself to it. Yeah.
And then also a little bit about robotics.
yeah.
We're definitely
So-
going to have to hire a lot of roboticists for the future. There's
Yeah.
a lot of robots that need building.
So one other thing about Dean is he is in R is for Robots, your latest coloring book, and he's in F is for First. So that's one of the coloring book pages. You can download this free coloring book on adafruit.com.
It's funny.
Yeah, there he is. Okay, next up, 3D printing. Zip, 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 zip. This week, Noah and Pedro are back at it. They started milling Mondays, so we have a video.
3D Thursday and Milling Monday.
You send them a mill, you know what they're going to do with it? Do a video series
They're
around
gonna
it.
mill,
To have
yeah.
Milling Monday. All right,
Okay.
here we go. Okay.
Don't try that at home.
Dude, you know what? I'm gonna say this. This is the thing
No,
that
actually
happened
you can.
in the maker world. We were supposed to be the ones that say, "Do try this at home."
Okay, do try this at home. Be very careful of your milling depth.
Well, I kind of feel like if you're watching a television show, maybe that's okay. But this isn't television.
Okay, fine.
We should say
Just
do
mill
trick.
right through your phone. I mean,
mill right through
Just
it.
go. It's not going to hit.
Apple will
something
totally
important.
sell you another one at any time.
Yeah.
It'd be funny to bring in like a phone
well,
after it's
like
been
a
other
whole-
milled to the Genius Bar. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I installed this app and it just
She
happened.
showed up like that.
I don't know. Okay, so next up is a time lapse, GeoFlower. So we're gonna play this. Okay, and don't forget, tune in tomorrow for 3D Hangouts with Noah and Pedro. They're going to be live, they're going to be recorded, they're going to be on YouTube, they're going to be on Periscope. If it's a way to broadcast 3D printing stuff, you will see it. All right, Lady
It's like
Ada.
a pineapple. A geoflower is a pineapple. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay.
Maybe it's an artichoke. It's a geoflower. Okay, before we go on to new products, radio's code, 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. You want to save some cash. We want you to save some cash. Everyone
All right.
wants to save some cash.
Okay, let's go
All
to
right,
the new. We have
here it
a
is.
song to
Yeah.
go with it.
Well, it's also playing in the
Yeah,
background.
for the people on Facebook and
Oh, yeah. It's a stereo sound. Okay. New products this week, Lady Ada.
Okay, we have some exciting new products this week.
Yeah.
Absolutely, every week. Okay, starting off with this disc of gold. No, this is polyamide tape, although it's shot very beautifully. It looks like it's copper tape, but it's not. It's polyamide, polyamide. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. Actually, I call it Kapton tape, and that's what a lot of people call it, Kapton, which is the DuPont trademark, and we're not allowed to call it that because it's not by DuPont. Like a lot of companies make polyamide tape, but it's really handy for electronics. So the nice thing about this tape is it basically it's stable with a large range of temperatures. So if you're soldering something, you can use this tape nearby because it will not melt from soldering. It's also thermally conductive, but it's not electrically conductive. So you can put it on top of traces without worrying and protect things. You can also use it to bind, people who do 3D printing, they use it to sometimes bind the thermocouple to the hot end.
That's a good idea.
So because it's tape, but it will work up to like 400 degrees C or something.
Yeah. Okay.
And I can also show on the overhead. So this is the tape. So it comes in like this big roll, and it's extremely thin and translucent. But yeah, this is used all the time for electronic repair. And we use it, we go by the roll here. We use tons of it. And for example, like when we have, I'll show you an example. For this, I don't understand why this is not focusing.
What do you want to do?
It used to autofocus when I press the button, and now it doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I can mess around with it later.
It's okay. So this tape here, here, can zoom in though. Okay, whoa, yeah.
I don't think it wants to listen to you.
So yeah, it just hates me. So this tape here that we use after we solder in the OLED display, we use tape to cover up the pads to protect them. So you can kind of see the polyamide tape there. So that's kind of what we use this for, and it's really handy for all sorts of electronics attachment tasks. So we use it in-house, but we thought some people might find it useful as well for their electronics.
All right. Next up.
It's in filament, and it's in a lovely teal color.
Yeah, it's almost like Arduino colored.
It's actually Adabot blue. It's like a I know it's called like baby blue, but it's a beautiful blue color, and we had to buy a bunch of reels of it, but I think it's a teal, a lovely teal. We'll make some nice prints. So this is from Print
Unusual
and
color.
Z, and it's made in the USA, and it's PLA PHA, which we found works really, really well in like 90% of printers. There's like one printer that it doesn't work well with, and it's in the copy. I don't remember the name of it, but it's a little cheaper, and so the hot end can't handle. It's the slightly sticky filament, but for other printers, this works very, very well.
Okay.
And it's makes for very nice prints.
All right.
So we like this as a filament writer.
More stuff. Got this thing.
Oh, this is kind of an interesting project. This is a Kickstarter, and it's an open source logging thermometer. And I'll totally be suckered by anyone saying, well, it's totally open source hardware. So it's a logging thermometer with a nice LCD. It has 3 spots for K thermocouples. I think you can also change what kind of thermocouple. I can't remember what it's called, but it's got a built-in battery. It's rechargeable. And it's a lovely Kickstarter that I think worked out quite well. So this is the display, so you can turn off the backlight or turn it back on. I have the thermocouple. If I hold on to it, the temperature will go up. It's in centigrade, but I can change it to be Fahrenheit or Kelvin. It's kind of funny. I guess sometimes you need Kelvin. I don't know. It's cool. You can record. I don't know exactly how to put it into record mode. You can do all sorts of graphing stuff. It has 4 slots for thermocouples using the standard thermocouple connector. It has a pull-out thing, so I can see it very well. Built-in battery, can log on the fly. It's just a handy if you ever have to log temperatures or keep track of temperatures. It has this graph. It's really nice and way less expensive than if you bought a fancy Fluke thermocouple meter, which would run you a couple $100, at least even probably close to $1,000 for some of the really nice logging thermocouple meters. But this one's nice. It's open source. You can reprogram it. I think it has an Atmega 324 inside of it, and the code's open source. If you want to modify this and improve it or hack on it and make it do something else, add Wi-Fi, add Bluetooth, you're free to. So we're carrying this, and I think it's a lovely little instrument.
Next up, Microsoft Azure IoT starter packs. We've got them.
Yes, this is in partnership with Microsoft for Azure, which is their Internet of Things platform. This is actually kind of like the Internet of Things kits we already have, but we have 2 versions, one with ESP8266. It's a little less expensive, but it still comes with a lot of parts. And then we have one that comes with a Feather M0, so Cortex M0 with a Wink module. So like 2 different options for you. The Wink one also comes with a OLED Feather Wing, which is kind of nice, but it's very fancy. It's all in one, very bedboard friendly, no soldering required, and works great with Microsoft Azure. So if you're interested in trying out their Internet of Things service, we're happy to provide you a pack of parts that we know works.
Okay, and last up, the star of the show tonight besides you is the new Feather LoRa's.
Ooh, not LoRa's.
No?
Packet radios.
Packet radios.
Yeah. See, this is confusing. I'm
thought-
going to have to explain why.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll edit that in post.
Okay.
What is
I
this
have to be
thing?
careful because there's 2 types of radio. This is the Feather 32U4 RFM 69 HCW packet radio module. So this is a Feather 32U4, so it's got your Arduino compatible 32U4. It has a built-in li-poly battery charging circuit. You can plug it over USB. It has all the pinouts. It's compatible with all our Feather wings. Uses that same chip. And then instead of Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, we stuck this radio on. And there's 2 different radios you can get and 2 different frequencies you can get. So there's a lot of options. But today we're only releasing the packet radio version in 433 or 900 megahertz. You can tell the difference because this 433 has a red dot on it, and the 900 has a green dot. If you check the website, you'll just see that there's a green dot on top. So these are packet radios. They're great for multi-point communication. They're FSK, can use encryption. You can have output power of 13 to 20 dBm. We use them about 300 meters away, 400 meters away in an urban environment, and they work quite well. They do all the packet management is done for you in the chip. It's quite nice. It basically does retransmits, acknowledgements. You can address your packet to a network and also to a subnode within that network, or you can do like broadcast. So basically kind of everything that you would want to do with a radio, it's kind of taken care of for you, like error correction and all that good stuff. It's not a LoRa type radio. We have it coming soon for those. They're more expensive, but we will have those as well because they're pin compatible. But these modules come from Hope RF. These are based off the, I think the SX1272, which is the Semtech chip that actually does the work, and then Hope just puts them on a nice little module with a crystal and all the analog parts and the little amplifier chip so you can get full power. And I've got a demo here to basically show it off. Now, I'm not going to go 350 meters away because that would be a little weird, but I can show it nearby. So that's one, and this is, I just reset this, and this is another one. So this is node number 2, and this one is going to come up. So you can imagine like these were far apart. They're not, because I have to show them off on this desk. But the demo I have is, this one is the 900 megahertz version with a little wire antenna, and I got a little battery. And I put on the OLED feather wing, and I have it listening to these 3 buttons, A, B, and C. And on the other side, I have basically the same setup, except it's side by side. So you can see that there's this radio module, and then I have it on a side by side adapter with the OLED. And then if I press the A button on this node, it'll say, hey, I received button A. And if I press button B, it'll say, hey, you press button B. And if I press button C, it'll say, hey, you press button C. And then vice versa, you know, node 2 can send to node 1 and tell it, hey, button A, B, C, A, B, A, you know, you can have a party. It'll tell you your signal strength as well, but you can basically separate these by 300 meters and they would still work. So it's magical, and you can have a ton of radios on the same network. And basically these just go much farther than your 2.4 gigahertz radios. They can also be used in low power mode. 900 megahertz is kind of nice because 900 and 433 are both ISM band, but 900 megahertz you can pretty much do whatever the heck you want on it, and the modules themselves are FCC certified. You know, depending on your final product, you may need more certification.
Certified, yeah.
But they are the ISM band, so it's not nearly as frustrating or annoying. It's not even as much as the 2.4 gigahertz band. This is, you pretty much can do whatever the heck you want to do on the 900 megahertz band, as long as you are narrow band. And there's a couple of rules, but these radios are pretty foolproof with that respect. And what else can you do with these? Yeah, they're multi-point, which is kind of nice. They don't do mesh networking, although if you wanted to, you could create your own mesh network on top of it. There's no mesh networking built into the chip, but like if you want to do the protocol management of mesh, you can do it. But basically, like if you need to have like 2 or more modules talk to each other, they're very far apart. You want them to not use a lot of power. You know, Wi-Fi uses a lot of power, and you have to maintain that link, right? You have to connect, and then you can send a lot of data back and forth. These are best for, you know, the modules are sleeping, they wake up every few seconds, they send out a burst of data, and then they go back to sleep, or they're listening for data. That's not like you can do constant data transmissions, but what they're really, really good for is, you know, stateless packet transfer. They wake up and then they're like, hey, you know, anybody who's listening, here's the data I have to transmit. They get the acknowledgement and they go back to sleep. So good for outside stuff where you don't necessarily have access to Bluetooth or Bluetooth low energy or Wi-Fi, low power stuff, because you don't have to maintain that link connectivity, far distances. And then, of course, if you pair this up with a Wi-Fi module, you can create like a gateway, or you could use this same radio on a Raspberry Pi, and you could use a Raspberry Pi as a gateway as well. So these are kind of nice little modules. And then we will have almost identical, except for it has a LoRa type radio as well. I didn't get those done today, but they're manufactured, basically ready to go. I just have to take a couple more days and finish up the documentation. The LoRa radios are not going to be compatible with these, but they can go much further, like 3 to 4 times as far, but they're a little bit more expensive. So trade-offs. If you don't need more than 300 meters of distance, these are pretty great. And they have they're kind of like the nicest radios out there. I really like them, a lot of capability. And we use 2 really good libraries that are already written. I actually started writing a library, and then I realized, like, I'm not going to be able to write a library better than the people who already have. So Low Power Labs wrote an excellent library. Check them out. They do a lot of stuff with these radios as well. And Airspace, which I also linked to. They have the Radiohead library, which covers a huge number of radios, which is not as easy to use, I think, but a lot more powerful. So there's a lot of support already for the Atmel chipset for these radios. This is the first radio product in Adafruit.
We're a radio company now.
We're now a radio company, and I've always kind of been like I radio RF. I don't really understand it. I never really studied it. You know, this is a little alien to me. So I'm learning a lot about radios. Like I have to learn about the different encoding techniques and like, can I use these to listen in on other 900 megahertz devices, and like what kind of modes do I have to put them in and what bit rates and stuff. So I don't know a ton about them. I mean, I've read through the data sheet and I've played around, but I'm looking forward to learning more. This is kind of a new situation for me.
Always be learning.
Always be learning.
Okay, well, with that, test new products, Lady Ada.
Yay.
Good work. Test new products. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to do some speed rounds of questions. I asked some ones lined up already. Don't forget the code is radio. 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Anything that's in stock. Only thing you can't get discounts on is gift certificates and software. So here we go. What's the range on these things?
The range, it depends on, of course, your location, you know, if it's a line of sight, your antenna. I'm using just basic wire antennas. We got about in urban, like from the window and walking down the street, 300 to 400 meters at the highest power transmission. You might get further, but then we start to drop packets. And you kind of need that's line of sight. So at 300 meters, and that's at the max power, of course, you can drop the power a little bit to save power, but then you'll probably only get like 100 meters of distance.
Do you know the power consumption of the radio modules when they're in sleep mode?
I don't, but I think you check the data sheet. I haven't, I'm going to take these home and do some more thorough testing with my power monitor, Monsoon power monitor. But right. I think you can probably get down to like a milliamp or two in sleep mode. Like if they're sleeping and not even listening, it's basically going to be off.
Yeah, okay. I'll try to answer this one. Why hasn't the schematic been published for the Raspberry Pi 3? I would check out raspberrypi.org and check out in the forums. I'm sure people are asking for it if it's not, but there also might be published PDFs somewhere.
They tend not to publish stuff until you ask them to publish stuff. This is not,
check it out.
This is not one of the priorities. For them, the priorities is shipping hardware.
Yeah. Next up, are we the same people who work at Adafruit? Yes.
Yes, it's my fault.
Yeah, okay. Next, do you need a ham radio license to use these radios?
No, you don't. That's one of the really nice things about these radios is they use 433. There's a couple of there's restrictions. Well, I actually want to have maybe David write a tutorial because there's a couple of restrictions about like how often you can retransmit and whether it's controlled or whether it's automatic. 900 megahertz is kind of the most free. And this radio is tuned, as long as you tune it and only use 900 megahertz and don't try to tune it to other frequencies, you're pretty much free to go. It doesn't have any, you can check out the FCC and ESTI report, and it shows you like other than this 900 megahertz spike, it pretty much doesn't have any emissions beyond that.
Okay, could you build a radio jammer with these?
Yeah, you could. I mean, but you'd only be jamming stuff in that narrow range that it's tuned for, and that would be really mean, and you shouldn't do that.
How do the modules work if placed in metal objects?
Poorly.
Okay. All right.
So that's when you would use an external antenna that you'd route out to a box. If you're using a metal box, you can solder on a UFL connector and then have the antenna wire come out to the external box.
Best way to connect these packet radio feathers to IoT?
We're going to have to do something for that. Right now, there is no easy way to do it. But what I probably will end up showing how to do is how to take an ESP8266 and one of these, and then you do an MQTT because it's the lightest weight and most obvious protocol. You don't want to do REST over these. Do MQTT and just have it do Wi-Fi to RFM69 transmission, which is probably your best bet.
Next up, can you retune these radios?
So the chip itself can do a wide range of frequencies, from something like 200 to a gigahertz or something. But the analog section the analog section of the modules has been, the capacitors and resistors and inductors has been tuned for the antenna to be basically only for the narrow band frequency. I mean, like you could take the 900 megahertz one and you can run it at 433, but it kind of sucks. Like it's not going to run very well. So, you know, it's your responsibility to use them within the band that you're allowed to use them in. You could transmit on other frequencies, but like, don't do that because that's naughty.
Okay, do you know why the price of the RFM95 is more than the RFM69?
Because of patents.
Okay, there you go.
LoRa's patented, and FSK is not.
Okay, do you know the range of the LoRa ones that we have?
You know, I didn't check the map, but it's a lot farther. It's really good. Like we actually got half a mile with multiple buildings in the way. We haven't done a line of sight one, but I think it's like at least 2 or 3 times as far. And we got packets all the way up to like 14th Street, or West 4th Street. So it's really good in busy areas. We're gonna do some more. It's actually kind of hard to do line of sight tests once you get to a certain distance in New York because it's just not, we're in Lower Manhattan, not in the gritty area. So it's like there's no line of sight because all the streets bend. So we might have to either go to Midtown, which I really want to avoid, or have somebody else do a test.
Okay. Is it possible to make a touchscreen Arduino?
Yes, we have a touchscreen shield.
Okay. Next up, the Bluefruit Easy Link, is it just for uploading to Arduino boards or can it do other things?
You can communicate to anything that does SPP Bluetooth protocol, which is like Android devices do a lot of that. iOS does not do it. Windows has SPP support built in. It's best it's kind of designed for uploading it to Arduinos over Bluetooth, but you can use it for any Bluetooth link.
Does LoRa support encryption?
I don't think so.
And
I mean, you can do your own encryption always, of course, on top of it if you want. You know, you're free to do encryption. I don't believe that the LoRa radios have encryption built in. I didn't see it. I know for a fact that the RFM69s do because it's an I wrote AES 128. I mean, it's encryption. It's very basic encryption. Don't use this to send files to Snowden, but it's much better than sending stuff clear text. It's only a 16-character key, so it's like not that complicated.
Do you happen to know off the top of your head the antenna gain limits on either version of the radios?
Dude, I do not remember. Check the data sheets. All I remember is the output ranges from about 13 to 20 dBm.
Okay.
And honestly, like I just use a wire antenna. So it's pretty straightforward.
Okay. Can if people want to make their own antennas, what would they do?
Yeah.
Just a wire?
Oh yeah, just a wire. I mean, in the tutorial, I basically tell you just make a quarter wave whip. Honestly, for something like this, anything more isn't that necessary. If you want, there's a UFL connector you can get at 900 megahertz antenna, but basically, it's going to be that same whip, but like in a firmer, like metal, and then in a plastic package.
Okay. Someone's kind of answering this in the chat. Thank you, Tony D. But the difference between this and like an XP, this is mostly range.
Range and the XPs have like a lot of stuff on top of them. So like the XPs are like, oh, you can do digital I/O passing, and like they have analog digital converters built in. This is basically just like sending and receiving data, but it is a lot wider range. Like you can go much farther because 433 or 900 megahertz will just go farther just because of the physics. And I think the output power is a little bit more. I think the output power is higher as well. And also you just have more control over like what you're doing. Like with XPs, it's really nice and they're transparent. They're much easier to use, but they're a little more expensive as well. Okay,
last question. Can you use these new modules for some type of remote control?
Yes, the 433s especially. I can't remember if it's 315 or 433 that has to be action-based transmissions, but you can absolutely do these for remote control or whatever. You just write the code that is the example code that's on the tutorial, which is basically this button press receive. You would just do the same thing where you press a button and it would transmit the data and give you an acknowledgement, and then you would know that your remote sent and got the data back.
Okay, all right. Epic amount of questions there, Lady Ada. Good work.
Okay, I actually don't know that much about RF, so this is hopefully I didn't get anything wrong, but again, it's I'm rusty on it. I'm going to try to learn more.
Yeah, luckily this isn't live and recorded for all time.
Well, I did get to play around with these. I mean, we walked around Manhattan and I did range tests, and
Yeah.
I played a lot with the libraries, but I don't. Like I kind of understand, and you know, I got them into raw mode, and that was kind of fun. Like you can put these modules into a mode where you literally just send it bits on one of the I/O pins, and that was kind of interesting. So I got
That was
to play.
neat, so we can see how many bits are coming in. That was fun.
Yeah, so I could, and it doesn't do any of the packetization or encryption or anything, but it was just a way to see like the raw data
Yeah.
going back and forth. So I was like, okay, I can see how, even nearby there was errors that we would need. Because like, how much error correction do you need? Actually, you need quite a bit error correction.
Yeah, in case you were wondering what we do on Saturdays or Sundays, we walk around with devices that tell us how many bits dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of our hobby. Okay.
I really got to go back. I used to have a techno code, and like it expired, and I want to get it again, and maybe go for a higher license. Because when I got my techno code, I was in high school, and so I knew even less than I do now.
Now you're shipping
But I
radios.
think now I could probably like go in and a lot of the electronics questions like wattage calculations and like
Yeah, so
whatever.
maybe this summer.
Yeah, maybe we'll do. That'll be fun.
Okay, we'll do
you
that.
and me
we'll do
and
that.
you, getting our ham radio licenses
I think
together.
we might be able to do the test at Hope. It's in July.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, maybe we'll
Ooh,
do
that's a
that.
good goal.
Yeah, maybe
Did
we'll
you
do that.
did you ever get your ham license?
Yeah.
So apparently, because Dave Stillman was emailing and he was saying, if you get, I think it's either you're advanced or expert, you
I
can
have
use.
ham radios, but I didn't.
Yeah, no, nobody did. Everyone had a 2-meter radio. And then he said you could use like 2.4 gigahertz, and he said like 10 watts. You can
Yeah.
use like watts
Yeah.
at the 2.4, and I'm just like, this is awesome. This is like,
broadcast Ask an Engineer over it or something.
well, it's like instead of Bluetooth Low Energy, it's like Bluetooth melt your face off.
Yeah.
It's like the most. It's like you could do Bluetooth like from here up to like Central Park or something.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
That'd be neat.
2 watts.
Yeah.
I like. Usually you're like or it's not even 2 watts. It was like much more. It was like 100 watts or something insane.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe it was like 10 or 20 or 50 watts. I was like, wow, that's crazy. So
Yeah,
I
maybe
kind of
we'll
want
do
to get that because we could just do something ridiculous, and it would be totally legal.
Yeah. Okay.
Not like all the illegal things we did with radios.
Yeah.
The legit.
All right. So let's
Legit in our age.
Let's give away something.
Okay.
Um,
I want to get some NyQuil.
what
so
are the
let's do this.
rules,
Okay,
Lady
what-
Ada?
The rules are if you've won anything from this trivia contest before, you can't win again. Only one winner per lifetime.
Yeah.
And I am the decider of whether you've won something before, so don't try to trick me.
Yeah.
The person who enters in the correct answer to the trivia question on whatever chat Phil wants is the winner.
Yeah.
And of course, you will win a Feather 900 megahertz.
That's very nice of you.
These are so handy. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be crazy generous. You get 2
Yeah.
because you can't need 2. I feel bad giving somebody 1.
Yeah.
So you'll get 2 of these, 900 megahertz. You can also use them at 868 or 915. So it's okay if you're in Europe and I know
Okay.
you have 868 over there and we have 915. It's okay.
All
We're
right,
friends.
so we're giving away
I love
a couple of
croissants.
things.
2 Feather 900 megahertz, 32.4s. Wow.
2 of them. Okay.
2.
All right. The question is, are you ready? Dean Kamen has a research company. What is the name of Dean Kamen's research company? This is a zoomed-in version of the.
Can't say it.
I know. What is the name
Dean
of
Kamen's
research company?
on.
It's not 42.
It's not the year he was born. Nice
Yeah.
try.
Yeah, everyone keeps saying 42. Like, I don't think I'll do that for a while. But anyways,
Who will know?
Wyland Corp.
Wyland Utani. No, Tony.
That's pretty good though. Let's see if.
Advances 400 watts.
Okay, it is a Moose 136. Deca, congratulations.
A moose? A moose.
A Moose 136.
136. Deca is correct.
Yeah,
Dean
so-
Kamen. Deca
Yeah.
is the name of it. Good job. You are the winner.
Yeah, a Moose, congratulations.
A moose.
Email support@adafruit.com and tell
Yes.
them you won. Which product
2
ID?
of the 3076.
Yeah, try to remember that. That'll help them out. Congrats. And that was a Moose. And
That was one of the most fabulous prizes ever.
there it is, Deca. That's their research company. And they've been around for 30 years. And he's 65.
Wow.
Maybe Dean's ready to retire. Probably not.
I don't think so.
So, okay.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, congratulations. And
Congrats.
thank you, everyone. Don't forget, we have our code, radio, all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. That gets you 10% off in the Adafruit store. Please use it and help support cool electronic programming like this. We are on Periscope, on Facebook, on Ustream, on YouTube, on Twitch, and Hug VR, and probably some other networks I'm forgetting. And so we'll keep doing this as long as y'all like it. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you all the Adafruit team members, communities, and fans out there that helps keep this going.
Thank you for not making fun of my radio knowledge.
And hey, you know, one of the best and most fun things you can ever be is a beginner.
I know. I have that beginner nervousness
It's fun,
of
right?
like,
Use that as energy.
I was like, oh, I don't all the different encoding types, and this is so exciting, and like,
Yeah.
it's like, and then like it's funny. It's like whenever we do like live streams, whatever, it's like EagleCAD. I'm like, oh, this is like I'm like so like enmeshed with EagleCAD. I'm like, I can just do a live video for like 3 hours. I now know everything will be like great. I'll be able to route it and it'll be perfect. And
you are the auto router.
But this is now I'm starting to do stuff. And this is the first radio item we've put in the shop, and it's a little bit scary. I'm like, this is a thing, and there's a wire and it only connected on one end. I don't like that. Why is it only connected on the other end? How can electricity transfer from one? But that's okay. Radio, you have an antenna with only the wires on one end connected. Yeah. Creepy.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you everyone so
Just
much.
like waves.
We will
Right-hand
see you
rule.
next week. Don't forget.
Antennas.
Here's a picture of Kat. See y'all next week. Here is your moment of Zener.
Late.